Hello and welcome to this week's Wild Spirits News. My name is Sibylle and this is the last Wild Spirits News of the year. At this time of the year, people seem to fall into two categories. One half happily makes resolutions and proclaims to the world that the next year is going to be fantastic and it's going to be their year. The other half is rather cynical and says our resolutions are rubbish anyway and people never stick to them and I'm not going to change a thing. Where do you stand in all of this? I'd like to know. The thing about me is that I'm kind of halfway in between those two. Resolutions, I agree, are often a bit unrealistic and people just don't stick to them. However, setting goals is a great thing, and this is a great time to set goals because a year is just a really nice unit of time to overview, to overlook. And studies have found that out. This is not motivational talk. Studies have found out that there's only about 2% of people who write down goals and review them regularly, and these 2% invariably are the happiest people. So it's definitely worth it. So your first task is to look back at your year. Think back a year ago. Think back to late 2017 or early 2018. What were your hopes and dreams? What did you think of? What did you say to yourself that 2018 was going to be like? If you have written goals, now's the time to pull out the list and review it. If you have to pause this video for a moment, it's worth doing this now, because if you put it off and think, yeah, I'll do this later, experience shows that it's not likely you'll do it. So while you're watching the video anyway, do this task right now. So this is your first task. And then look over what you've achieved of the goals that you set and of the things that you wanted to achieve in 2018. And for everything that you've achieved, I want you to plan right now how you're going to celebrate it. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be if you want to, but it can be a small thing. Just celebrate in some way, reward yourself in some way within the next 48 hours from now. Then write down the goals that are still a work in progress. So you made some progress on them, but you haven't quite achieved it yet. So that's great. You're working on them. And also write down the exact next step that you can take either today or tomorrow or within the next very few days in order to get closer to that goal. And then thirdly, write down what you didn't achieve, what you failed at, what fell by the wayside, what you gave up on. Don't judge yourself in any way, shape or form. Just write them down so you have them in front of yourself in writing. So that's the first task. The second task is called ingredients, because success is much like cooking a recipe from a list of ingredients that you then process. Looking back on your year 2018 and look back to the goals that you didn't achieve that fell by the wayside, and check those against the list of ingredients I'm now about to give you and determine which ones were missing. So the first ingredient is a goal that excites you, that makes you tingly, maybe even a little scared, as opposed to a goal that you think you should be setting, like, oh, I should be getting healthy, I should lose weight, I should get in shape, rather than I want to get in shape because I want to be strong and I love that feeling of accomplishment and all that. So if it's a goal that you set because you feel like you should do it, or maybe somebody else expects you to do it, it's not really what you want to do, that could be an indicator of why you failed or why you didn't stick with it. The second ingredient is a supportive environment. Now I'll start off with a disclaimer. You will never have ideal or perfect circumstances. If you wait for those to happen, you're going to wait for a very, very long time. That's not what I mean. But there is a minimum of support, of a conducive environment that is necessary. And this is a work in progress. You can keep working on creating that. So did you do that in 2018? Do you keep working on creating the time, the financial circumstances for your goal that would be nourishing and conducive to your goal? The people in your life, are they supportive, and so on and so forth. The third is plenty of rest and self-care. And we tend to forget that. If we have a goal that excites us, that is our passion or our life purpose, we often don't feel like ever stopping. And we can overdo it because even the biggest purpose in life is too much if you try to work on it 24/7. And many of us don't just have our purpose in life, we have a family to look after, we have a job, we have other commitments and so on and so forth. And so we run ourselves ragged and don't even notice it. So check your failed goals against that? Did you get plenty of time and rest? And did you do plenty of self-care? And the fourth is support. Did you get support for yourself? That is a very important ingredient. Now, this support can vary depending on what your goal is. If your goal is physical fitness, support might be a personal trainer or a sports club that you work out with together. It could be, if you want to learn something new, the support system could be not just learning on the internet, but maybe a teacher, an instructor, a trainer, somebody you can actually, or doing a class, doing a course where you're in a productive, supportive environment. Other goals require coaching. You need somebody. Don't think that you can ever work on a goal alone. I would never attempt it. And I've done a lot of personal development. I think I'm a strong and willful person, and I'll tell you, I never start a goal without my coach. So did you get that? Did you have coaching, support, instruction, training, and so on and so forth? Your third task is to make 2019 your year. Now's the time to start dreaming. Write down your dream, your vision for your life. What would your perfect life be? And I don't care if it's unrealistic. Just if as long as it makes you excited, as long as you're passionate about it, as long as it lights you up, it's valuable. So write it down. And then, starting from that vision, write down what you need to do or what you could do in the next year, over the next year, to move closer to that goal. So these are the concrete goals for the next year. The next steps that you could take, the goals that you could set. And then check those goals and the next steps against that list of ingredients I just gave you in task 2. And kick out everything that you can't realistically have all 4 ingredients in place. Not just 2, not just 3. You won't do. All of this needs to be in place, because otherwise you're setting yourself up for failure. And then next year at this time, you're going to beat yourself up and say, oh, I'm such a failure, I never stick with anything. It's nothing to do with you. You need the ingredients, and if they're not in place, you don't stand a chance. And now you have your goals and the ingredients, and if you do this properly and don't skip a single step along the way, and if you also review these goals and your progress throughout the coming year, next time, by next year at this time, you're going to be flying. You're going to not know yourself, and that's the best thing to watch. So I would like to hear from you, and task 4 is, as usual, to let me know. Hit the reply button on the email that you got the video with, and let me know your thoughts about this, your review of 2018, what were your insights that you had from this training now, and whatever you're comfortable to share, what are you setting out to do in 2019? What is the dream life that you're going for? And what exactly are you going to do? What concrete steps? So if you didn't get an email, to get to get the video, that means you're not part of the Wild Spirits community yet, and you should join us. Go to wildspiritscoaching.com. wildspiritscoaching.com. You can also Google Wild Spirits Coaching. That'll get you to the website as well. And sign the little form there. The newsletter is 100% spam-free. You get 1 email from me every week. That's it. The email contains the link to this week's video, but also a lot of additional information and resources, books and other resources. And there are also some offers that are exclusive to subscribers that nobody else ever gets to see. So go to wildspiritscoaching.com and sign up. Now, the only thing that remains to be said is that I wish you a beautiful 2019, and I hope and wish that you achieve all the dreams and goals that you set out to do. And I wish you a lot of happiness.